Hello family, this is Kimberly Purpoz and welcome. I'm here on this video with my son, Austin.
Hey everybody.
He's a guest for today. We're going to talk about the Taino Indians of Puerto Rico. So let's get started. I found a nice article, but before we start, I just want to introduce my company. This is my website, Purpoz Wellness. We are accepting clients today, and we offer telehealth service. I'm a licensed therapist, psychotherapist, and give us a call today. So let's get started, you guys. I'm gonna also share with you my Instagram page. If you don't know, this is my Instagram page under Kimberly Purpoz, just like the my YouTube channel. And also I have, let me move me out the way, hopefully it'll show. This is my anchor page. Let me see if I can go to the dash. I have a new anchor page. Y'all may want to check it out. I'll put a link to it as well. It's going a little slow, but this is it right here. I did my first, here it is. I did my first podcast this week. I will try to do weekly and bi-weekly podcasts, so y'all can check this out. And let me take you over here to my son's Instagram. This is Austin.
Here's my page. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me.
Okay, and then this is his YouTube channel.
Subscribe there too.
Okay, y'all, this is his channel. We're trying to get his subscribers up, so go ahead and check him out as well. So let's get started. I pulled up this article about the Taino Indians. This is the picture. This is part 2. But we're not going to do part 2 today. We're going to do part number 1. I just wanted to show you the family that they're doing the story on. This Phillips family, which is ironic. Your last name is Phillips too. But they have Phillips' last name too, with the Taino heritage, you know, the American Aboriginals. But the first one sort of goes and give more details and background about the Taino Indians. The name of this article is called Taino Today, Part 1, Descendants Challenge Outdated Extinction Theory, which is something that we all go through, not just in Puerto Rico, but also here in the mainlands of the United States as well. It's an issue too, but we'll elaborate with that and go into more detail. And what's the name of the source? This is the St. Thomas
source, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands. Yeah.
Virgin Islands. I'm sorry. Virgin
Okay.
Islands.
Virgin Islands. And so, look at this. You see this? This is some of the archaeological findings that they found in the island, which I think is totally neat. This is a Taino art carving, and it can be found in the Reef Bay on St. John's. And the photo is by, who is that?
Kim Wild.
Yeah, Ken Wild. So, yeah, this is very neat. What do you think of the artwork?
I wonder what that is. Can't really tell.
It looks like it's a person standing here.
From the look of it, it looks like they carved it out with some sort of rock, with a sharp piece of rock that they carved out of their blade. It looks like some sort of, like, I don't know. It looks like there could be that's a person right there.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not sure.
It look like a person on there, but it looks like they're giving a depiction of what they do, you know, in their everyday life during the ancient times. It would be interesting to know the date of this particular rock carvings, but it's one of the rock carvings of all the ancient peoples there. Probably more than likely either, you know, the Paleo Indians or both the Paleo Indians and the Clovis people. But it says here, during the first week of January, Governor Albert Bryan Jr. vetoed 6 bills among them, and Bill number 330364, which sought to create a Virgin Islands indigenous tribe identification card for those identified as Taino, Carib, Kalinago, or any other Caribbean indigenous group, which is neat. So they trying to come up with their own identity, which I think is neat. What do you think about that?
It's neat.
Yeah. But then it talks about the governor vetoes and engendered little public conversation, but it was a setback for Miss Phillips, a St. Thomas woman who had been pushing for tribal recognition from the Virgin Islands government for 8 years. So this has been going on for a very long time, which I think is quite interesting. And Miss Phillips' name, the cacique in Spanish, a chief of the Taino tribe of Virgin Islands, the first named chief of Virgin Islands of 100 years. We thought it would be best to link our tribe name to Taino brothers and sisters of Puerto Rico. Also link this back to the Amazon of Venezuela, as he says. Okay, this is quite interesting. And she gives a little bit of background about, you know, their origins and where they originate from. And currently, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, and now the Virgin Islands, the term Taino generally refers to the Iroquois. And this is the first part series. It's a 4-part series, so okay. I guess they're gonna continue elaborating about the Taino people, which I think is pretty neat, pretty cool. So this is the first one that they're doing, the first story. And it says here that Taino culture and history as it relates to the Virgin Islands. And so they showing some more of this pre-Columbian, here it is, artifact found in St. John's and National Park Service photo.
What is that?
I'm not sure. It looked like a face. Like that. You see that? And then the nose, and then the mouth. And so it came from the National Park Service photo. And so right here they're talking about they are fighting the Taino Descendants Challenge Extinction theory, which is quite interesting. We're going to read further. It's pretty much giving the background history about how they're trying to cause this particular tribe to go extinct, pretty much. And it's probably similar to what we go through in the United States through the paper genocide, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, you the one told me about Dane Calloway, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, the paper genocide. And so they're, you know, pretty much doing that as well over here. But let's get started. It says here, if you thought the Taino people were extinct, you're not alone. The Taino people are declared extinct shortly after 1565, with the census showing just 200 Indians living in Hispaniola, now the Dominican Republic and Haiti, according to the National Geographic. So when they started colonization, they just said that the people were extinct.
Which they weren't. They were murdered.
Yeah,
and raped.
I don't think they killed all of them. They were still here.
Of course they weren't. They're us.
Yeah. And I did a video, you guys. Y'all might want to check it out. I did a video a while back talking about the false numbers and everything that they had with the census. Never been accurate. They just threw numbers together and made up stuff as they go. And as you do more research, you have to read between the lines, and you'll see that a lot of stuff that they put down is just random numbers. You know, just random numbers, because 200, really? I'm pretty sure it's way more than that, and they're just not reporting it, you know? And then it could be they might have just classified the people as being Africans and reclassified them.
Some of us are, but not all of us.
Yeah, reclassified them as being black instead of just, you know, what better way? Change their identity altogether, do paper genocide. And then put only 200 Indians and all the rest, the dark originals, which I was showing you right here. This is what the original Taino people look like. with the woven hair, the woolly woven.
And they're gonna ask,
kinky
well,
hair.
how if they're Indian, then how's her hair straight? That's what y'all finna ask.
Well,
And there's a reason for that.
yeah, what's your theory on that?
They use a different type of oil to have their hair slick down to cause it to be straight. Like they used to use bear oil back in the day.
Yeah, they did that.
And they use fire sticks too.
Right. And then not only that, we naturally have different hair textures anyway, you know, because we have people in our family with
Straight hair.
like Courtney and some of our other cousins and stuff. They have straight hair, but their both parents are black. We have some with blue eyes, green eyes, but you know
That's because of the slave time. It causes people's eye color to change and skin color to change too.
that and it
That's part of the reason.
could
Another
be
part.
of
Another part is that they could naturally have it.
that too, and it can also be too. Some black people, some tribes have green and blue eyes. It's not a trait that's just strictly Caucasian. You know, people who are not even mixed with
anything.
They're pure black folks. You know, Aboriginal folks. You know, original people. Some of them have different eye colors and hair colors as well. But this is what the Taino family, you know, the Taino people, which are the Paleo Indians, look like. And so let's get back over here. And it says, like many other indigenous people, Taino succumbs to disease in contact with Europeans within a generation or two arrival of the Spanish in the Caribbean in the late 15th century. As many as 3 million people died. That represents an estimate of 85% of indigenous people of Cuba, and according to an article of Smithsonian by Robert Poole. Well, let's go on down here. And it says here, native Indian population intact cultures from centuries ago may have disappeared, but remnants of their presence continue to be visible, as can be seen in this video film by Dominican public produced by Instituto Tecnológico de Santo Domingo.
Oh, this is in Spanish.
Is it in Spanish?
Yeah, that's in Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
Parts of it is in Spanish.
Yeah, it's in Spanish, but we're gonna put a link. You want to see? Did you want to try to play it and see, or? Well, I don't know.
They're gonna be speaking in Spanish. You just need to read it.
Yeah. So yeah, she's right. So because you can see the subtitles right here. I'm not gonna play it because my computer likes to slow down when I have too many things open. So.
Computer does the same thing.
Don't want to chance it, but y'all can check it out because they got some interviews here and talking about the history and the origins of their people here in the Puerto Rico and the Puerto Rican culture. And it says the people in the video speak Spanish, and you're right, not an old Taino language that disappeared centuries ago. However, the Smithsonian article noted that some words of Taino origin remain to be widely used today, including hurricane, hammock, barbecue, and canoe. I didn't know
barbecue.
that. Yeah.
They used to eat barbecue.
Yeah, that's what came from the indigenous people, you know, and plus they're on the island, so, you know, we're going to be outside, so you have to go cook and grill your food outside, you know. And then not only that, canoe, you know, I think that's pretty cool. I learned something new. I didn't know that.
They eat baby back ribs.
Being silly, but anyway. But I think that's pretty cool. Canoe. See, all of these, it's amazing how they blend in the history and origins of the original people into modern day language.
Okay, I'll read this one. It says, although the vast majority of the Taino people died from diseases from contact with Spanish colonizers and the enslavement of genocide that followed, their genetic heritage did not. That's something that thousands of people are discovering now with the availability of DNA home testing kits.
And with that, though, like I was saying before, I did a video on that. The DNA is not very accurate because it's already racially biased, And plus, it's already been proven that DNA can't really trace your roots and go all the way back.
Basically, DNA is nothing but statistics.
It's not really even statistics. I think it's more like astrology. It's just
they make up numbers and stuff. Yeah, make up stuff.
Yeah, they can't.
That's kind of like statistics.
I guess, and they can't go any. You can't go too far back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's very limited. Actually, you can't really go back hundreds and thousands of years to trace your origin.
They don't know who the people are.
And they don't have that type of technology right now to go that far back. But and plus, not only that, if you mislabeling the people, you know, that you already did your research to, it's gonna be wrong. Because if you classifying the Paleo Indians as Africans and saying that they from Africa, and then you saying
and then if you try to find the blood type of them, and it says it's related to here, then there's no.
It's gonna still say wrong. West Africa. It's gonna say Africa still. And then if you got a label as Asian, or Mongoloid, and you have only the Mongoloid and the Indians labeled as the original people here, the indigenous people here, and you don't include the Paleo Indians, because it's automatically off, because you're only the DNA is saying that the indigenous people are only Mongoloid. Of course, you're only going to test for Mongoloid people, but you're not looking at the Paleo Indians either. They not even included, because and so it's not correct either way. It's just not an effective tool. The best tool for tracing your roots through genealogy, you know, that's the best way to do it. And y'all may want to check out Dane Calloway. He's written some books on that as well, about how to trace your ancestry through genealogy. And it says by 1514, barely 2 decades after that contact, an official survey showed that 40% of Spanish men had taken Indian wives. The unofficial number is undoubtedly higher, Poole wrote in Smithsonian Magazine. Yeah, probably did.
And they stole artifacts. You see that picture there?
Yeah.
That's an artifact that they took that didn't belong to them.
Exactly. It's called the bronze from the replica of Taino Zini. And this photo is by who?
Amy H. Roberts.
Yeah. And so that's neat. I love the artwork. I like that they're including the, you know, the pictures and, you know, what the ancient people did. And it gives a depiction of what it must have been like back then. And then it says here, the widespread presence of Taino culture remains officially unrecognized by most scholars. See, this is the sad part. Until Juan C. Martinez Cruzado, a biologist at the University of Puerto Rico, initiated an island-wide genetic study that was published in 2003. Okay. Well, at least they're starting to do some research on it. And I wanted to share with you all again, I go to Google, and what also doesn't help is the gray washing of the history.
Oh, can you move the circle?
I was trying to scroll down here, right here, the gray washing of the history. The only Indians they show are the Mongoloid Indians.
Basically, it's the people who are Hispanic.
No,
they are. They are. They're mixed. Mom, there's three people that they're mixed with. Okay.
Yeah, you talking about, but we're not talking about them. I'm talking about the Mongoloid Indians, the Clovis people. It's two sets of Indians. One was the Paleo Indians, which are the original people, which are us, with the African Australianoid descent. And then the other ones are the Mongoloids, who are mostly tied to the Asians. And so they're the second wave of people, the Clovis. And see, when you mostly go through Google, that's all you're going to see is mostly the Mongoloid Indians, or some even paler than that, because, you know, with the gray washing of history, the Indians with time, yep, get lighter and lighter. Let's see if we can move us out the way. See, they get lighter and lighter to the point where they're no longer an Indian anymore. They're more Caucasian. And that's how the $5 Indians come into existence, with the gradual erasure of the indigenous people, the complete erasure of the indigenous people. And I don't know if the Mongoloids realize they erasing them too, but they don't see that. But, in changing history where it fits their narrative pretty much. And let's go on down. Here's another picture of Miss Phillips right here. She's so pretty.
I don't know. She looks like she could be related to me.
She looks like one of my cousins and our aunts. Yeah. And it says right here, Miss Phillips and the chief of the Taino tribe of Virgin Islands. And this screenshot video made of the National Guard. I think this is great. And see the culture and the identity. And I like how she put her indigenous headband on and the indigenous hairstyle, which is wonderful. And then it says the astonishing results of the genetic studies led to more studies, and these studies inspired Ms. Phillips to further research her Amerindian ancestry. And so we're going to stroll on down, you guys. They're still talking about the genetic tests that they're doing, which I think is a good start. And I also think people should still do their own genealogy as well, if they can find any record and stuff. And also check with the elders in your family. That is so important. I think talking to your elders and asking questions helps too, to get more information, so you can tie a lot of the pieces together to your family tree. And also passing down customs and stuff and stories and culture. All that is important. And it says here there are 81 families who can trace their heritage to their ancestors, which is okay. And then it says here her great-grandmother, Frances Amestica Delgado, was kidnapped by a pirate. Wow. They're transported to Tortola. According to her family's oral history, is a story like this that increased the odds that many Virgin Islanders who identify as being African in origin also have Amerindian roots, that some may not be aware of this heritage and is not entirely accidental, which is true. And Austin and I was talking about colonization here in the mainlands too. What they did was the 13 colonies, they would kill off the parents or, attack the villages of the indigenous people that were here, the Paleo Indians. And then they kidnap the children and threw them into slavery. Just doing that alone, wiping out tribes, wipes out identity. I've read stories, articles, scholarly research articles talking about that and describing it. This information. So it definitely coincides with what she's saying. How they the erasure of the original people, how they do it, and the tactic that they're using to this very day. And look at this photo. See, here goes some more photos. It says right here, a photo of the Phillip family evoking their Taino heritage. And see, I like that. They're showing the dark skin and the woolly woven hair. And that's what the indigenous people had. Woven hair. The original Paleo Indians were the Aboriginals, and this is what they look like. See? That's not what you're going to see in the history books, of course. And then it says here, this is where they go on into the paper genocide. The paper genocide means that people can be made to disappear on paper. And that's what they did. They disappear on paper. And how did they do it? By lying and
manipulating.
Relabeling people. Well, black folks got so many labels, it just don't make no sense.
It was the N word. It was
colored.
It was color. It was African.
Mulatto.
That too. That was for light skins though.
Negro.
Negro,
African American, Afro American,
Indian, Afro Latino.
There's just so many labels that we have. Of all the groups, we got all those labels. Okay. But you don't see with the Caucasians. They got one label.
That'd be white.
Yeah. So throughout history, they have a consistent trail of who they are and have an identity. But with us, we got so many labels. We've been called some of everything. You know? And that's how they do it. With all the labels and changing around stuff. You know, just change the name of the Indians. Oh, you're no longer Indian. You're African.
How does that work?
You're a Negro.
How does that work?
That's what they did. Relabeling folks. And that's what they did because they want to take the land, the resource, the heritage. They know they're not supposed to be here. This is not their land, but they put it on paper that way to cover their tracks. And it says here, paper genocide, and says people can be disappeared on paper. And that's what they did. The 1787 census, Puerto Rico lists 2,300 per Indians in the population. But on the census of 1802, not a single Indians listed. Yes, where did they go? They relabeled them.
That's what happened.
Yeah. If you dark skinned with woolly hair like me, weedy locks, locks right there, you're going to be called a Negro. That's how they did it. We were already over here. And then for a long time, there were no Indians. Option for people with Latin America, you were either Hispanic, white, or black, or a mixture, and which they did here in the United States. When the Indians or an indigenous option was placed in Puerto Rico census, 33,000 people identified as Indian. And usually they started putting the $5 Indians in there. I know they did that in the mainlands. That they did that so they can have land rights and give them the capability of being able to get resources that's not theirs. And that's how they did it. And let's see here. St. John's resident who was raised in Puerto Rico of Virginia discovered through genetic testing that in addition to European African ancestors, she has ancestors who are Taino. I was sort of wondering how they labeled the Tainos. Are the Taino Mongoloids, or they have them, the Tainos, as the Negroes? That would be interesting. I would like to know that, how they had them labeled as. Do they have them as the Paleo Indians or the Mongol, the Clovis people? Which one are they using? Are you using both groups to identify as the Taino, or are they just doing just the Mongoloids? Because I know here in the mainlands they only use Mongoloid Indians, and that gives the illusion that the Mongoloids were only Indians here when we know that there were two distinct groups. They can't see you. You hiding.
Well,
are you hiding?
No, I'm not hiding.
Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding?
I'm not. I need more leg room.
Oh, sorry. Well, anyway. All right. So we're going to go on. I wasn't intending to make this video so long. But we're going to stroll on down. I'm going to put a link to this article so y'all can see it as well. And now my screen is stuck. But we're going to call it a day because I told you that my computer is sort of acting up. But we got most of it into the gist of everything. And, yeah, I would like to see what you all think. Is there anything you wanted to point out?
I also forgot. Me and Mom were looking at this earlier, and we realized that they basically relabeling the Blackfoot Indians as being Western African, which is not true at all because they did not come from West Africa.
Right, and so, and it's the same thing they're doing with the Taino Indians. It's pretty much the same thing. And now we're seeing a more modern day version of it because they're fighting back and forth to keep their identity, but yet they want to label people a certain way, and they don't want to listen to the original people at all. And that's
because they think they know more. That's why.
Yeah. But yeah, please thumbs up this video, you guys. Check out my Instagram, Anchor, and my website, and you can check out my son.
Well, I'll be doing reaction videos, comedy videos, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna be reacting to music videos as well.
Yeah, check out his channel. I'm trying to get his subscribers up. And don't forget to leave your comments. We want to see what you all think about this particular topic, about the Taino Indians, or if you're Taino, we would love to hear from you. And what your thought is from Puerto Rico. We would love to hear from our brothers and sisters there as well. Until next time, love and peace, family. Bye-bye.